Good evening. Welcome to the West Bridgewater Board of Selectmen meeting. If you'd please stand and join us in the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being audio and video recorded. The first item on the agenda is vote to approve the entertainment license for Bridge Coffee House. We had met with them last week and are voting tonight. Is there a motion to approve their entertainment license?
So moved. Subject to the times, do we have to say anything?
I think, subject to the times being clarified as AM and PM.
On the license, yep. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next item is to approve the meeting minutes of July 13th and August 3rd.
I'd like to postpone approving them because I reviewed them and there are some necessary edits.
Both of them?
Yes.
That's fine with me. Is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And except for review the meeting minutes of September 7th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we had met with Tim Hay for the position of conservation agent. We have his contract in front of us. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Do you want to do it with the amended or corrected hours?
So we wanted
235
to-
in total.
It should say 35 hours, it says 36. Well, I meant it to include 35 hours and make sure the math adds up to 35.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next item is something I asked to have on the agenda, and it is giving Ben the go-ahead, not that he necessarily needs it, but just to let him know that he has our support in recording all committee meetings that this board appoints its members for. I don't have the list with me, but I think it's a good idea to have have as many meetings recorded as possible. Oh, the list is up there. Perfect.
That's a long list.
Obviously, Ben wouldn't have the ability to record all of them, but whichever ones he can, I think that we should do.
Do all of these boards meet monthly or twice a month?
So
or
I took a look at the list.
Okay.
Some meet monthly, some bi-weekly, some I didn't see on the schedule, so they
Yeah.
must meet pretty
Yeah,
regularly.
like rent
Okay.
controls,
Um,
frequent cultural council. I think like zoning board makes important decisions. Like I think that's an important one. I mean, recycling committee, I honestly couldn't tell you when they meet or exactly what they do.
I do remember it in the 80s, though.
Oh, really?
I was one
The
of the
recycling
I was
committee?
one of
I
the
don't-
students involved. I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, bylaw study committee could be important as well. I just think it makes sense to,
Do we recommend then to attend as many as you can without?
We will certainly try. It's myself, Maya, and then one student volunteer that does the meetings. So I was taking a look at it. There are some that do conflict with other times. So in that case, we kind of have to prioritize the best, not the best, but the most important meetings. So, for example, if the school committee is conflicting with another one, then we probably go with school committee or selectmen and so forth. But we certainly can make an attempt and try to at least get as many on there as possible. Like I said, I looked at a lot of them. Some of them really don't meet that frequent. Some are once a month. But it does seem somewhat doable.
yeah. I mean, I really wanted to do this just so that Ben and his team are aware that, I mean, we're encouraging to record as many as possible.
So are we more just voting on recommending?
So
recording,
in the
or-
past, Ben has gone to each board individually, I believe, and asked them essentially for permission. I mean, you don't need permission, is that right?
Yeah, it's more of just a kind of a run
A
by,
courtesy.
and most are pretty okay with it.
So it's really just giving him essentially that okay for all of these.
So our support. Okay.
Great.
I'll
So is there?
second.
is there a
When would
motion?
the board be looking to get this started? ASAP?
Whenever you can, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll start October 1st, just a fresh month.
Okay. S- did, I'm sorry, Mary, did you make a motion?
Yes, make a motion to approve. So moved. Did that make sense?
That's okay, I already seconded it,
Yeah.
but I'll second it again.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and next is the ratification of the MOU with the police union, and this is the K-9 related one, is that right, David?
That is correct. So all it does is this just memorializes exactly what the relationship is now between management and the K-9 officer. Everybody is very comfortable with the setup. However, in case this changes in the future, both the union and management wanted to make sure that there was no changes going forward unless obviously it would be bargained. So the union has signed this, and they're asking for the town to sign it as well. The police chief is in favor.
Dave, are those dates correct? The duration of which is July 2020 through June 30, 2023?
That is because that is the existing collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
All right, I make a motion to ratify the MOU with the police union.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a request for vacation time carryover, 1 day. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment period. Anyone?
Hi.
No?
I know it's a really busy night.
Yeah.
I know that I'm competing for attention. I just want to say thank you because I wasn't here when you guys appointed me as the interim ADA coordinator for the town. I was on vacation, so I want to say thank you. Hi.
Thank you.
And I've officially not received any complaints, so she's doing great.
That's awesome.
David, you're up.
Sure. So real quickly, there is a piece of property, 87 Brooks Place, that was in chapter land for a couple of decades. Somehow it made its way to a sale. The assessors did notify both the realtor and the seller that there was a 61A lien on the property that had to be taken care of in accordance with Chapter 61A. You've been through this before. We do a first right of first refusal, or you decide to purchase it. For some reason, they sold the property. The other people bought the property. They did not follow the process. We still have a legal right to make a decision, and we still have a legal right to be able to recoup the rollback taxes. So town council has reviewed case law, and as such, although I don't have a purchase and sale agreement here, which is the normal practice, I provided you the deed that shows that it was sold in December 2020 for $650,000. So by rights, we would have first right of refusal at that amount. The process would be is if you chose to purchase the property, then we would notify them. We would call a special town meeting. You would have to get funding for $650,000, assuming it was approved. We would then have to notify the people living there that they would have to vacate the property. Assuming you do not want to buy the property, then we would notify the assessors that the Board of Selectmen exercised their right to decline the option. And the assessors at that point would notify the current owner, and it would notify that person that he is obligated, or they are obligated to pay the rollback taxes. So it's whatever you prefer, whether you'd like to exercise your right to purchase or not.
Does anyone have any desire to purchase this property?
I don't think we should. No, I don't.
I don't think there's any desire to well, at least on my part, any desire to purchase it, but are we losing any legal rights in pursuing the rollback taxes if we exercise our right of first refusal and decline?
By declining, that now initiates the process to exercise our rights to collect the rollback taxes. So we have every intention of collecting the rollback taxes at this point. So the first step is for you to make a decision if you chose to purchase it or not to purchase it. If you purchase it, there's no rollback taxes.
Right.
If you decline that offer, then we're now going to send them a letter, and then we'll have to pursue them through litigation if need be in order to collect the rollback taxes.
I'm just saying because the normal course of action would be for this to have been collected before the
That time-
sale.
Correct.
I just want to make sure doing it this way, we're not losing any of our rights.
You are not.
So is there a motion to decline the first right of refusal?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And last is time capsule. We discussed this at our last meeting. I met with Jerry Lawrence, chair of the 200th. We're thinking back here where the historical museum is, there is a grass strip between the parking lot and the museum. And we're thinking that what we could do is we could bury a capsule there. It falls into flavor of the historical section being the historical building. Jerry's thought process is that we could put a stone there, and then we could put an engravement on top of it that would say, this was buried on such and such date for the 200th, and you would have to make a decision as to when you would like to see the town open it. He was proposing 50 years, I'll tell you why in a second. And if so, then that placard would then say, so that way town officials would know, open on such and such date 50 years from now. He chose 50 years because there's a lot of people in town, including members of the board, that have children that certainly could be alive in 50 years. And thought that it would be pretty neat that the next generation of our current leaders might be the ones actually opening it. And so I'll come back to the board as to what we include in it, but part of our conversation is that the Board of Selectmen should probably write a letter to the future Board of Selectmen 50 years from now. And based on the current makeup of the board, it's very likely that your children or your grandchildren are still living in town, and maybe at that point, they're actually reading a letter from you out of that capsule.
I
So
might
we
still
thought
be
that would-
sitting here.
What's that?
I might still be sitting here.
You might.
Good on you.
You have a chance of that, I don't.
I think you're the only one of us that has said, well, no, I could technically.
do it.
I thought that's true. 50 years isn't that far much, yeah.
In
Okay.
50 years, my kids will be in their 90s.
Right, but your grandkids might
Who
be.
does math?
you know.
My grandkids will
But I'll
So-
still be here, and I'll be here with you then. And so will you, Denise.
think of me often.
So the thought is that the 200th anniversary, if you remember, kicked off on February 16th, because that was the official 200th. So the thought process is to have a celebration on February 15th, the last day of our 200th. It just so happens that February 15th is a board meeting that night. So Jerry would like us to have that night be dedicated exclusively to a 200th celebration where we do something. We would have a special gavel that night. We would engrave it. My recommendation is to engrave it with the three of your names as Board of Selectmen serving at that time. And that night you would gavel your meeting. You would go downstairs. We would have everything already pre-cut through DPW. We would put everything here in the room, everything into the capsule, bring the capsule down, and then put it in the ground and do a little ceremony. Because remember on February 15th, it'll be cold. So we'll talk, if that's what the board would like, I would talk to DPW in advance. We would pre-cut the ground, so that way if it freezes, we could still lift it up and put it back down. But I think it's an opportunity. We were thinking the school, maybe have their class of 2023, have a picture and have them sign it or do something, but just have a whole bunch of correspondence from current leaders in town placed into there so those future leaders could read it. And also whatever paraphernalia we want to put in it. So if you like that idea, Jerry would like to be able to go out and purchase a special gavel and get it engraved. I'm going to start the process of purchasing some type of a capsule, talk to the DPW department about it, and then you'll have to make a decision. You don't have to tonight, but you'll have to make a decision. We'll be in budget season at that point. So do you want to have that as part of your meeting? Do you want to do a special meeting for that and say the next night have your traditional meeting? We'll decide that in a couple of months. But I want to be able to first ask you, are you comfortable with the location? And are you comfortable with the thought conceptually? Because then we will start doing some of the work, the groundwork to make that happen.
I like it.
I think it's great.
Mhm.
I think we should involve the young people as much as possible so
Yeah.
that in 50 years,
they're excited to come back and be part of its opening.
Yeah, because, Jerry told me this story. Now, again, these are oral stories, so you never know what they could be, but he said that in 1976, we buried a capsule for the 200th. But nobody seems to know exactly where or when they were supposed to open it. So that's why we're coming up with the idea of putting the engravement on the stone, so that way anybody can read it at a future date as to what to do and where it is. And I think you're entirely right, by involving younger people now with a chance that they will be here, they'll remember.
Mhm.
And I think it'd be a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah.
In 250 years is still a nice milestone.
Absolutely. I'm all for the town unity and getting everybody into it. I think it's great.
In fact, if that's what you like, maybe what we could do is for that night, maybe we invite the class of 2023. And they're there during the ceremony when we actually put the capsule on the ground.
That would be cool.
I like that idea,
Okay,
yeah.
All right, sounds good.
and that's it.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.